official tonight says if the allegations against Dalton's mayor are true, she should step down from the 2 government positions she holds.
He told that to our Regina Waldrop, who was at tonight's Thornton Township Board Trustees meeting.
We're in the news every single day.
Referring to herself as super mayor.
Hey, I'm the first super mayor.
Tiffany HENYARD had lots to say during Tuesday night's Thornton Township Board of Trustees meeting, but she left without taking any questions.
Vegas mayor.
NBC5 obtained copies of complaints accusing Mayor HENYARD and an unnamed Village of Dalton trustee of sexual harassment, retaliation, and discrimination, and the Department of Human Rights tells NBC5 it is investigating. The complaints are focused on what allegedly happened on an economic development trip to Las Vegas last May. The mayor's now former assistant claims she was the victim of an unwanted sexual encounter carried out by that unnamed Dalton trustee, and as a result, filed this complaint. According to her complaint, after having dinner with the trustee, she started to feel disoriented. Then she blacked out. The next morning, she woke up in the trustee's hotel room with no memory of how she got there, experiencing physical discomfort. Officer Byron Miles, who was part of Mayor HENYARD's security detail at the time, also filed a complaint with the Human Rights Department. He also went on that trip to Las Vegas and says in his complaint, the trustee called him on the phone and told him he had unprotected sex with the woman. In the complaint, he says he recorded some of their conversation. According to both complaints, the woman says when she told the mayor about the incident, the mayor said if the information became public, she would be ruined, that all the work she'd done would be lost. The ex-employee says the mayor told her she would take care of it and to trust her. Days later, according to her complaint, the woman says she was put on unpaid medical leave without her consent and later terminated. At Tuesday night's meeting, Thornton Township trustee Christopher Gonzalez called the allegations serious.
It's just unacceptable. It's disgusting. I mean, if that's true, that there was an assault happened and then it was tried to whatever. I mean, I'm not exactly sure, but if there was attempt at a cover-up or something like that, then like I said, yeah, that's just unacceptable.
Gonzalez says if the allegations made against the mayor are found to be true, she should step down from both of her positions as mayor and Thornton Township supervisor.
If, all these things come to where they've been proven and, action has been taken, I mean, I don't see how, which could continue as a township supervisor.
As for Dalton, the village board is expected to meet Monday night at 6:30. Reporting from South Holland, I'm Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
More drama in Dalton tonight. Several trustees are calling on the mayor and another village trustee to resign.
Both are at the center of an investigation. NBC5's Regina Waldrop started working on this case 6 months ago. She joins us now with more on what she's learned. Regina.
Marion and Stefan, we obtained copies of complaints accusing Mayor Tiffany HENYARD and an unnamed Dalton trustee of sexual harassment, retaliation, and discrimination. And the Department of Human Rights tells us it is investigating. At the center of it all, a trip they all took last year to Las Vegas and a sexual encounter one woman says was not consensual. There are 6 elected trustees on the Dalton Village Board. Some of them joined Mayor Tiffany HENYARD last May on an economic development trip to Las Vegas. It was on that trip that the mayor's now former assistant claims she was the victim of an unwanted sexual encounter carried out by an unnamed Dalton trustee. She filed this complaint with the Department of Human Rights. According to the woman's complaint, after having dinner with the unnamed trustee, she started to feel disoriented. Then she blacked out. The next morning, she woke up in the trustee's hotel room with no memory of how she got there, experiencing physical discomfort. Officer Byron Miles, who was part of Mayor HENYARD's security detail at the time, also filed a complaint with the Human Rights Department. He also went on that trip to Vegas and says in his complaint, the unnamed trustee called him on the phone and told him he had unprotected sex with the woman. In the complaint, he says he recorded some of their conversation. According to both complaints, the woman says when she told the mayor about the incident, the mayor said if this information became public, she'd be ruined. All the work she'd done would be lost. The ex-employee says the mayor told her she would take care of it and to trust her. Days later, according to her complaint, the woman was put on unpaid medical leave without her consent. She was later terminated. Trustees Tammy Brown, Kiana Belcher, and Brittany Norwood did not go on that trip to Vegas. By a show of hands, how many of you knew about these allegations? They tell NBC5 they're stunned to learn about the investigation by the Department of Human Rights and the allegations made by the mayor's former assistant.
That could have been any one of us. That could have been either trustee. That could be anybody. I'm furious. This makes no sense. I'm hurt And I'm furious. That means that these people have known about this for some time. It's almost a year later.
The biggest fear is always, how far is this going to go before someone gets hurt? And now I feel like this is what it's come to.
The trustees say the mayor should have immediately launched an investigation. They're calling on the mayor and the unnamed trustee to resign.
For you to cover up something like this, allegations of someone doing this to someone, is horrible. And you cannot lead the village of Dalton under these circumstances. Everybody involved, if you hold a position, you should resign immediately. There's already enough shame being brought to this village. How much more? How much more?
In a statement, Trustee Jason House says he did not go on that trip to Vegas. NBC5 reached out to the 2 remaining trustees for comment, but didn't hear back. The village, in a statement, told NBC5 it conducted a thorough investigation into these allegations led by an independent third-party company. The statement goes on to say former police officer Miles was interviewed and denied knowing anything about these allegations, and the alleged victim refused to cooperate with our investigation. The statement continues, this is nothing more than 2 disgruntled village employees trying to make off with the taxpayers' hard-earned dollars. The village looks forward to defending these allegations and pursuing all other available remedies to the village. To clarify, Byron Miles is still a Dalton police officer. Now, we asked the trustees if Officer Miles should have done more if he knew an unwanted sexual encounter occurred. They told us they're still digesting the allegations, and NBC5 did reach out to the attorney for Officer Miles and the alleged victim for a statement. Marion and Stephen, still a lot of work to do with this story.
All right, Regina, we know you'll be on top of it. Thank you so much.
The misuse of funds is among the many allegations discussed in South Suburban Dalton today. Residents got a chance to tell village trustees what their concerns are, including a multi-million-dollar deficit and multiple lawsuits the village is facing. NBC5's V. Wendt has the story.
Dozens of Dalton residents filled this room at Lester Long facility Saturday morning for an event with the trustees. The special guest speaker, Dr. Nicole Scott.
We just gotta keep pushing forward.
She's the founder of American Association of Single Parents and says she's been running into problems with the village over plans to renovate her property downtown and to expand their food pantry, Free Indeed Market.
Last year alone, we served over 20,000 individuals, and we need to expand, and they will not allow us to do that.
Since last July, she's been trying to get approval for permits and licensing from the village with no movement, she says, and now believes Mayor Tiffany HENYARD and her administration may have special interest in her property.
I think their goal and hope is to take the property from us, to get it through eminent domain.
NBC5 reached out to the village of Dalton asking about Scott's specific case. The village administrator telling us in a statement, quote, "We are deeply disturbed by Dr. Nicole Scott's false allegations. She has not fulfilled the requirements in order to secure permits by the village of Dalton under the village code." He goes on to cite property tax issues and says the property has also failed multiple inspections.
What they're saying is not true. It took them 6 months to tell me that the things that I submitted were not sufficient. And I think that that is a stall. That is them trying to, wait me out.
This comes amid allegations from residents and trustees over Henyard's misuse of public funds, lavish spending, and mispayments to vendors. Several trustees telling NBC5 the village faces a growing $7 million deficit and multiple lawsuits. Some residents voiced their frustrations and concerns over the current administration.
Guys, we need to take the heart and put it back in Dalton.
Not only is it not entertaining, it is an injustice to the people who know we need to take our village back.
Meanwhile, Dr. Nicole Scott says she is trying to raise money to hire an attorney to take her fight against the village to court.